Hey guys, Michelle here from Sparkle Me Pink, and today I want to show you how I cover all of this up and go through the steps of color correcting and then concealing and foundation and basically just all of my current product favorites. So let's get started. I'm going to start off by spraying my face with a light mist of the Mario Badescu Rose Water. This stuff smells so good. And letting that set in. After letting the spray sit on my skin for a couple minutes, I go in with a primer. My current favorite is the Makeup Forever ones. I really love the smoothing primer, but I also utilize the hydrating one. There is also a nourishing one, and I kind of like the hydrating one a little bit more, but I'll keep the hydrating one just on my cheeks if I'm feeling extra dry. So I will do that today because I am feeling a little dry and kind of scaly with some post-acne marks down here. So I'm just gonna spread the hydrating one. I kind of like smooth into the skin, while with the smoothing one, which reminds me a lot of the Benefit Professional, but I like this one a little bit more. It is a little bit thinner, so it doesn't feel as gloopy on the skin. I like to press this into my pores and around my nose, around my chin and forehead. After that, it's time to color correct. So for the red marks that I have around my skin and around my nose, I go in with this Studio Gear Mint Concealer, and it is very thick. I mean, very thick. I use this concealer brush from Morphe, and it's just a very thin, very tiny little brush. I'll pick up some of the product and place it in areas that I feel need a little bit of balancing out with redness. It doesn't have to be anything too like extra precise or anything, because we're just gonna blend it out. And I don't put a lot either. Like, it's not large glops of the product that I'm putting on, because you just need a light hint to balance it out. A little bit here, there. Then with the Sigma Precision Angle P84 brush, I'm going to buff this into the skin just with patting motions. And since we didn't put a lot of product on to begin with, it's not difficult to do, because a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. It looks a little freaky like this, I'll tell you. So look at the tip of my nose that seems to get quite white to pink. And remember, it doesn't need to totally cover up the spots. It's just going to help balance out your skin when your foundation goes on, allowing your foundation to cover everything up in a better way. And with the Essence Say No to Dark Circles, it's like a crayon looking doodle like this. I've used quite a bit of it. And this is super affordable. I want to say like $3.99 at Ulta, and I love this. I'm going to put just a quick little V underneath my eyes, underneath my brow, and then I'm going to take the NYX Dark Circle Concealer. Mine is in light, and this is also a very thick consistency. And I like that it's a salmon shade. So while the Essence is more of a pink brightening tone, this salmon shade is going to help balance out the purple in my under eyes as well. And then the pink sort of brightens it up. So I just kind of pick up just a little bit on that same angled brush and pat it under my eyes. Now I look extra nice and flat and ghostly and very unnatural at this moment. We're doing all of this to kind of go backwards to go forwards. Then, because I've been really digging in an inner illuminated sort of look, I'm gonna pick up the Makeup Forever cream, what is this called exactly? The Pro Sculpting palette. And one of the shades, this one is a flat concealer shade, while this one has a little bit of a, I don't want to say shimmer, but a little bit of a gleam or pearlescence to it. I usually just pick some of this up with my ring finger and pat it on the high points of my cheek underneath my foundation. So it kind of like comes out and peeks out from underneath. And and I've been really digging this. Now to move on to covering this up and looking more like flesh tone. I've really been loving this Makeup Forever HD foundation. I actually own 4 of these now, all different shades. This one is in Y235, this one's Y245. I think I have the 225 and the 2255, I don't know. But this one is kind of the middle shade. I like to mix them on the back of my hand and come up with like the color that I'm sort of am right now. If I'm a little more tan, then I go in with the darker one. You get the drift. So I just kind of pat that on the back of my hand, mixing it in and patting that on the face. I usually concentrate on the main 4 areas. I don't pat it too precisely anywhere else. Unless I have like one of those larger honker breakouts, like a cyst or whatnot, then I'll go ahead and pat it on there as well. I'm gonna leave a little bit of it on the back of my hand and then scrape off the excess with my brush. This is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. And I don't like wasting, so I'm gonna try and pick up as much as I can off my finger there and then pounce this on the skin to diffuse it out. Avoiding the under eye area, because we already put stuff there and the under eye area is so sensitive, and we're gonna use a concealer as well. I don't want like 5 different layers under there. Be sure to blend down into your neck. Sometimes I'll go around my lips like this, and I'll kind of like wipe it off later, or sometimes I'll leave it and I'll use it as like a primer when I line my lips, but I don't usually do the whole dead lip thing. You can still see a little bit of my breakouts or like post-acne marks popping through just a little bit, but that's nothing concealer can't fix, and we'll do that in the next step. So now that it is all buffed in with our brush, I go in with a damp beauty blender, pick up some of the extra that was on the back of my hand, and then pounce it in the areas that tend to crease up, such as like right here, right here. I don't know if that's the face I needed to make to show you that, but you get the idea. I just kind of lighten it up in those areas, or kind of give it a little more natural look. Sometimes I'll go, if I put a little too much, I'll get a little excited and go all around. But definitely like right here, because the more product I have right here, the more likely it's going to get all like bunched up like halfway through the day, and that's just not appealing. See how the skin looks more like skin now? So at this point I usually go in and conceal. This is the Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Concealer in Warm Light 07. I usually just use the doe foot, put it on the back of my hand, use the tip of the beauty blender, or if it's too wet, then I'll go back in with that angled Sigma brush. But today it's not too damp. It's just kind of lightly tacky wet. Because if it's too wet, then it kind of picks up the foundation that was already there. And I feel like using this keeps it from getting too caked up as well. The moisture sort of gives it a little bit of a luminosity to where it doesn't look so chalky, caked up. I'm trying to show you. Here we go. See how mostly everything is all covered up at this point. The only thing left is to do some under eyes. And what I've been really loving for under my eyes is the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. Now this does need to get set or it will crease, but the coverage and the feel and the slip, like the look of the slip that it leaves behind, like it doesn't look cakey or crunchy or dry. I love it. I just hate that you have to set it. But other than that, it is so good. I'll just do a couple little dots like that. Hold on, I need some coffee. Where was I? Oh, let's blend this out using the Beauty Blender. I'll kind of use like the tip here. Sorry, I usually look all the way down, which is really weird to show on camera, but that's kind of how I do it to keep my eye open and to keep that area flat. And I'll kind of just do my head up and down until it's all spread out. Sometimes I'll use a little bit of the extra on the tip of my nose. For some reason, the tip of my nose is like the hardest place to get makeup to stick to. With foundation and primer, it's still, I don't know what that is. Okay, now I'm going to want to set it pretty quickly. I've tried various different brands of powders. Right now, I'm really liking the Coty Airspun. I kind of go in between loving this powder and hating it. I mean, how could you hate it with how much product you get for just a couple of bucks? I do feel like it kind of dulls out my under eye rather than brightens it up. I've tried some NYX ones. Oh, I got creasing. Hold on, I gotta break it up again. I just pat it out and then use the powder to kind of set it. Like I was saying, I've used the NYX loose powder that's very similar to this, but it gave me a very white cast. So I haven't found the perfect under eye setting powder. I hear that Laura Mercier has a really great one, but yeah, I have not tried that yet. I hear that it's super expensive too, so I don't know if I'm about that. I've got some creasing on my eyelid. Wipe that away. That's okay because we're gonna go in with an eye primer before we do our shadows anyways, so it's not like a big deal to me. So that is it when it comes to covering everything up, and I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup and come back and chat with you guys. Hello, I'm back, and today did not go as planned at all. I didn't even get a chance to finish up doing my makeup, but I guess that's a good example. It's like 6-7 hours after I originally filmed the first segment here, and everything is still very much still covered up, and I have very oily skin, and as you can tell, it's really not that bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've touched up at all. Maybe I've kind of like used the back of my arm here and there. I don't remember actually doing that, but sometimes I do that out of habit because I do get so icky sticky. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this informative or helpful. This is the base of what I do on any of my makeup looks, and kind of what I do just about every day. Sometimes I skip a step or two when I don't feel like I need as much, or when I'm just like in a hurry, but when I really want a full coverage sort of look, then this is what I do. Let me know some of the color correcting products that you use in the comments down below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with my new videos. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and my blog, sparklemepink.com. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.